It was a fated night. The moon was full, and a strange and fearsome wind was in attendance to the birthing of one, a new being into our world. It was not an easy birth, and when finally the babe was born, her mother breathed out her name with her very last breath, Amura, and the babe did take her first. And so it was that she was left there beside her mother, crying into the dark, whilst the wind howled its best lullabies. Time has passed now, and Amura, named Dim by her aunt and uncle who took her in, knows nothing of her true name, nor the circumstances that begat her. Nevertheless, she is much of a frustration to her guardians, who often rue the day that they did find her there, and take her into their care. Though often they had prayed for a child, they were ill-equipped for one so wild. Simple farmers were they, and they did fill up her days with chores and tasks, hoping that eventually she would succumb to the banal and the domestic and be of willing service to them and not a nuisance. But often she would disappear, and often she would arrive back with twigs and moss stuck in her knotted locks, and mud on her knees and full of wild imaginings. Times like these they would not kindly say that her mother must have been at it with the Fae. Now in the village there was a Jarl who'd eyes for Dim since she was small, and now she was of age, almost, they hatched a plan, and they did toast, for he would surely break her spirit, and, of course, there's money in it. So as all this is going on, the wind picks up and sings a familiar song, reminding Dim of something lost and long gone, though not a thing she could put her finger upon. It whips and it howls, and she, compelled, gathers herself and leaves her home. She heads towards the standing stones, as night is starting to arrive and the full moon fills the sky. And there she sleeps amongst those stones, and in her dreams they speak of home. But not a home she'd ever known. They all whispering as one, telling her where she is from, make her startle from her dream, whilst on her face the moon does beam. "Hello? Did you sleep well?" She hears a voice and looks all round, but sees only a twig upon the ground, wondering if she had made it up, but once again that voice speaks up. "Hello, I'm down here. I have been sent to tell you your true name." She wonders if she sleeping lays, or perhaps she is as mad as they say. But when the twig it speaks again, it tells her of her future then, a terrible fate that awaits at home, a different one if she chooses to roam. It speaks to her of her true name, and memories flooding to her came, of winds howling a lullaby and a loving look in her mother's eyes. And in remembering now she knows, this twig speaks true, she cannot go home. Into the night she presses on, further than she has ever gone, till at the edges of a wood a nightmare of a figure stood. It did not beckon, nor make a sound. She startled stood, her feet felt bound, her hairs stood up, her blood was ice, yet oddly still she felt enticed. She had courage, and she was brave, more terrible things behind her lay. It turns and it moves into the trees, her blood now hot, her feet unfreeze. To follow it, she sets her mind, under and over she clambers and climbs. Through thicket sharp and forest vast, streams and swamp and mud and marsh, and when at last she is quite drained, and can't ignore the aches and pains, the beast stands still, and she steps near. In wisps of black, it disappears. Weary, lost, and very tired, feeling like a dying fire, when in the leaves she hears the sound of 4 clawed feet upon the ground. Something snuffling coming near, too tired was she to muster fear, so came a badger into view, arrived on 4 legs, stood on 2. What have we got here? Oh, no, this just won't do." Inspecting her, it walked about, snuffling bruises with its snout. From pocket then it pulled a jar, a sticky substance black as tar. "From special leaves I made this balm, rub it on your legs and arms." Amura did, and felt relief, though comfort from it only brief. Her belly moaned a mournful song, without some food she hadn't long. And so she stumbled on until a frightful noise made her stand still, a snuffling louder than before. Out of the bush a giant boar. "I'll show you what you're looking for." It used its tusks to tear the ground, roots and mushrooms for her found. She ate them up without a thought that they may be the magic sort. Her belly full, her wounds all tended, her thirst was fierce, so on she wended. To find some water would be splendid. So in the nature of before, a helper came of tooth and paw. This one a tricksy, wily fox, with fur the colour of her locks. He speaks in rhyme and riddle, then he spins her round and back again. He wears a grin, he acts the fool, and shows her to a waterfall. She washes off the blood and dirt. To her surprise, the wounds don't hurt. She takes a long and needed drink, then into a deep slumber sinks. A sleep so deep she doesn't stir, whilst forest watches over her. The creatures come to keep her warm, with breaths upon her fragile form. Spider weaves a silvery thread, they set to work while she is led. They fix her clothes where they be torn, with spider silk and spindles fawn. They weave for her a lichen cloak, and on her head a crown of oak. Adorned in reds and browns and greens, a spectacle was she to see. A Phaean queen, the forest's bride, so still was she might have died. And then she wakes to Corvid's song. "Wake up, Amura, you've slept long. Get up, dear one, your home awaits. The forest's heart, the open gates."